What's up, everybody? It's Weston here with the Hidden Gibbon, and back with a Friday installment of Magic for the Working Class, the deck tech series that I have going on Mondays and Fridays, where I do deck techs for under $100, because, let's admit it, right now, the economy is kind of poopy-doopy for most of us, especially those of us who are working class, or those who are struggling to get by, and I am a firm believer that no matter what your economic circumstances are, you should be able to have an escape mechanism where you don't have to worry about things like mortgages, rents, bills, student loan payments, and everything else in between. So, without further ado, if you do like the Magic for the Working Class, if you like my regular deck techs, or some of my other budget content, or even my discussion videos, feel free to subscribe, only if you feel I've earned it, and let's get straight into it, shall we? So today we have Toph, the first Metalbender. She's pretty straightforward, and this deck is coming in at $76. I know the thumbnail says 74. I built it literally like a couple weeks ago, and I always do update to cheapest, and in that time, the deck had risen to like 81, but I went ahead and updated to cheapest, so it's 76 now. This goes to show that deck prices are constantly fluctuating. Please keep an eye on some of these cards. Sometimes you gotta move on them a little quickly. But who is Toph, the first Metalbender? She's a 3/3 for 1 generic and Naya. Non-token artifacts you control are lands in addition to their other types. This is a very unique effect. And then at the beginning of your end step, you Earthbend 2, which is target land you control becomes a 0/0 artifact, or sorry, a 0/0 creature with haste that's still a land, and you put 2 1/1 counters on it. And when it dies or is exiled, return it to the battlefield tapped. Sound good? So we're gonna play a bunch of little dorky artifacts. We're going to put some counters on them. We're gonna recur them. We're gonna hopefully be able to win through there. Again, this is a budget deck, so a little bit lower in power, but it is a commander that can scale very heavily with power, although she's incredibly kind of clunky. You have to build her in like a certain way. We are running 22 creatures in this deck today. Yes, count that, 22. We're going to start off with Arcbound Shikari. I don't know why, but reading that card just makes me want to go Shakira, Shakira. It's a 0/1 for 1 generic and Boros. It has first strike. It is when Arcbound Shikari enters the battlefield, put a 1/1 counter on each other artifact creature you control, and then modular 2. So for all of your little artifacts that are getting animated into creature lands, they will also get 1/1 counters on them. And then this can all, will also be a land cat soldier creature artifact, and will also be able to be earthbent as well. And it's modular, so when this creature enters the battlefield with 2 1/1 counters on it, when it dies, you can put its 1/1 counters on another target artifact creature. We have original Badger Mole, not to be confused with Badger Mole Cub, which is about as expensive as this entire deck. This has, when this creature enters, you earthbend 2, and creatures you control with counters on them have trample. Burnished Heart is a little dude that you can sacrifice to search for 2 basic lands. Earthbending this and then sacrificing it feels so good. I have it in my paper version of this deck, which I don't know where I put it. Otherwise, oh, right here. Right here. Toph, the first Metalbender. Burnished Heart is a fun card in the deck. Searching for 2 basics, putting them onto the battlefield tapped. We have Earth Kingdom General, which is a 2/2 for 3 generic and 1 green, and says, when this creature enters, Earthbend 2, and whenever you put 1 or more 1/1 counters on a creature, you may gain that much life. Do this only once each turn. This is a great way to net you just a little bit of life, right? We don't have ways to gain a ton of counters all at once, but it is a good way of gaining you some life. Evolution Sage lets you proliferate when a land enters. This is great because all of your artifacts are lands, and you're going to be having some animated lands. We have some creatures with some counters on them. Great times. Foundry Inspector, your artifacts cost 1 less. Great Divide Guide. Each land and ally you control has tap to add 1 mana of any color. This is incredibly important that we have things like this, because even though like Ornithopter here would be a land, it can't tap for mana because it doesn't have a mana ability. It's just a land with no ability other than it's, flying. So this would allow it to do so. Haywire Might lets you sack it to exile a non-creature artifact or non-creature enchantment. This is also incredibly good if you earthbend it, because it gives you persistent removal and gains you a little bit of life gain as well. Then we have Jaheira, Friend of the Forest. Tokens you control have tap, add 1 green, choose a background. We do have some tokens in here because we have like Rampaging Baloths. We also have Tireless Provisioner and Tireless Tracker in here. Tireless Tracker is going to be producing clues. Tireless Provisioner generates treasures and food tokens. Letting those tap for mana is always delicious. Jaheira is also one of the more expensive cards in the deck at $9. We have Maria, Scholar of Antiquity. She's a 3/3 for 3. You tap an untapped non-token artifact you control to add a green. This is a pseudo way of turning your land artifacts into mana dorks. Tap 2 untapped non-token artifacts you control. Exile the top card of your library. You can play it this turn. It's always pretty nice. I already mentioned Ornithopter. It's a 0/2 for 0 with flying. It will be a land that you can turn into a 2/4. Ornithopter of Paradise is a mana dork. Then we have the old lobster in here. Ragost, Deft Gastronaut himself. He's a 2/2 for 2. Artifacts you control are foods in addition to their other types, and have pay 2, sacrifice this artifact, you gain 3 life. And then he has tap 1, tap him, sacrifice of food. Ragoth deals 3 damage to each opponent. At the beginning of each end step, if you gained life this turn, untapped Ragost. So not only are all of your artifacts also lands, but they're also foods. So, you know, you've got this Ornithopter here, who is an artifact, creature, thopter, land, food. Oh boy. He's a great card and a great sack outlet for your cards that you have earthbent, and you'll be able to bring them back. We have Rampaging Baloths, I already mentioned. Solemn Simulacrum helps you search for a land and then draws you a card, and you can also always sacrifice it. Also, this art is spooky. What the hell is that thing? Marvel, what you doing? What is this? If somebody in the comments down below knows what this is from the old Marvel, please tell me what this spooky dude is. We have Surge Conductor. Whenever another non-token artifact you control enters, proliferate. Survey Mechan, flying, hexproof, and you can pay 10. Sacrifice this creature. It deals 3 damage to any target. Target player draws 3 cards and gains 3 life. This ability costs X less to cast, where X is the number of differently named lands you control. This gets really bonkers when you have all of these different things that are lands. We have Tenuk, Memorial Ensign, 2/4, and he has Landfall. Whenever a land you control enters, he shoots everybody for 1, and if this is the second time this ability has resolved this turn, draw a card. Boulder, Ready to Rumble. When he attacks, Earthbend X, where X is the number of creatures you control, power 4 or greater. I already mentioned Tireless Provisioner and Tireless Tracker. They're in here for some good utility. And then Toph, the Blind Bandit, has Earthbend 2 and power equal to the number 1/1 counters on lands you control. Oh, also with these two, please note that Toph is non-token artifact, so the foods, treasures, and clues will not be lands. I know, big sad, but we can't always get what we want. We have Boomy Bash. Deals damage equal to the number of lands you control to target creature. Destroy target land creature or non-basic land. Cracked Earth Technique. Earthbend 3. Earthbend 3. Then you gain 3 life. Cultivate is for ramp. So is Rampant Growth and Explore. We have Earthbending Lesson, which Earthbends 4. Earth Rumble, Earthbend 2. And when you do up to 1 target creature you control, fights a creature an opponent controls. Planar Cleansing. Destroy all non-land permanents. Oh, good. It's a great card, but it's triple white pip, so, you know, a little trickier in the deck. Rockalanche, Earthbend X, where X is the number of force you control. You can flash it back. True Ancestry, return up to 1 target permanent card from your graveyard to your hand. So if something happens to where you can't get one of the things back, this is a great way to do it. You also get to make a clue. Wake the Past, return all artifact cards from your graveyard to the battlefield. They gain haste until end of turn. Instance. We have Cycle of Renewal, Harrow, and Roiling Regrowth for our wonderful ramp. We have Dispatch, tap target creature, and Metalcraft, which is if you control 3 or more artifacts, you can exile something. Earthshape, Earthbend 3, then each creature you control with power less than or equal to that land's power gains hexproof and indestructible till end of turn. This is also one of the most expensive, if not the most expensive card in the deck, because it was only printed in the scene boxes. Please, Wizards, stop doing this. You can only get these in the scene boxes. I do not like that that's a thing. At least put them in collector boosters or have them as one of the extra cards that can come in a play booster. Please. Elemental Teachings. Search your library for up to 4 land cards with different names. Reveal them. An opponent chooses 2 of those cards. Put the chosen cards in your graveyard and the rest on the battlefield tapped. We have Enter the Avatar State. Until end of turn, target creature you control becomes an avatar. It gains flying, first strike, lifelink, and hexproof. And we also have Sandbender Storm. Destroy a creature of power 4 or greater, or Earthbend 3. Our artifacts. We have a whole bunch of these little things, and not all of them are good. We have Arc of Hunger. This card's actually pretty sick, I'm not going to lie. Whenever 1 or more cards leave your graveyard, this artifact deals 1 damage to each opponent. You gain 1 life, and you can mill a card and play that card this turn. This card's sick. Also, the art on this is really cool. It like invokes some both like some like sort of ancient Egyptian iconography with the jackal on there. Well, I know it's supposed to be probably a wolf, but it looks like a jackal, like the head of Anubis. And then with the eagles down there, it kind of reminds me of the Ark of the Covenant from Indiana Jones. So 10 out of 10 art style there. We have Bootlegger Stash. Lands you control have tap, create a treasure token. Oh, this card's fun. It costs a lot, but it is fun. We have Chocobo Racetrack. Landfall. Whenever a land you control enters, create a 2/2 burb. With whenever a land you control enters, it gets +1/+0 until end of turn. Chromatic Lantern. This, again, turns on all of your artifacts into being able to tap for mana. Commander Sphere. We have, now for our dorky artifacts, ready? We have a whole bunch of them. We have Darksteel Relic. It's indestructible. It taps for, or it comes in for 0. We have Elsewhere Flask. When it enters, draw a card. Sacrifice it. Choose a basic land type. Each land you control becomes a basic land type of that type until end of turn. This is exceptionally good if you have it Earthbent. We have Ichor Wellspring. When it enters or is put into a graveyard, draw a card. Instant Ramen. It's a food, but when it enters, draw a card. Then we have the Spell Bombs, right? We have Life Spark, which until end of turn, target land becomes a 3/3, so you can make it bigger, or you can sacrifice it to draw a card. Pyrite deals 2 damage to a target or draws a card. Sunbeam is you gain 5 life or draw a card. Maze Skull Bomb, you can draw a card, or you can pay 3. Target creature gets +3/+3 and gains trample until end of turn, and then also still draw a card. Activate only as a sorcery. We have Mindslaver. Okay. So this is a combo, and a mean one at that. You Earthbend this, right? So you sacrifice Mindslaver. You control target player during that player's next turn. You'll get to control someone every turn with this. You Earthbend it, and you sacrifice it, and then it comes back, and then you just perpetually do that. Mind Stone is in here for Mana Rock. Mishra's Bauble. Sack it, look at the top card of target player's library, draw a card at the beginning of the next upkeep. Prize Statue. Whenever it enters the battlefield, is put into a graveyard, make a treasure. We have Seer Sundial. Landfall. Whenever a land, or one of your artifacts, as long as your commander's out, you can pay 2, draw a card. The Stasis Coffin. Exile it, you gain protection from everything until your next turn. This is also pretty sick, because we have a lot of ways to Earthbend, right? This deck also scales very much with power. So if you have like Toph Earthbending Master and other ways to Earthbend, just very good. We have Throne of Geth. We have Zern Orb in here. They let you sacrifice an artifact. This one proliferates. This gains life. You know, you could probably squeeze Bossing Say in here. In fact, you know what? We're going to do this on the fly. I don't normally do this, but we're going to throw Bossing Say in here. Or, alternatively, okay, there we are. We're going to do that. We're going to throw Bossing Say in there, and we are going to drop 1 Plains. So, sorry, friends. It is a little bit more expensive than what the thumbnail will say, but it's still 83. So, Bossing Say will let you activate. What you want to do is do this every turn. You can do this with this every turn, too. So, when it comes back, right, if you've already Earthbent it, what you do is you wait a turn after Earthbending it, you activate it, and then it comes back and you can Earthbend it again at the end step. Or, alternatively, when it comes back, you can Earthbend it again so people can't remove it, and then you just give yourself protection from everything perpetually. It's super fun. But here you go. This is the old deck. These are the lands here. We got Myriad, Terramorphic, Sheltering, Evolving Wilds. We have a Jungle, Shrine in here, Command Tower, and then a bunch of basics. So, let's go ahead and playtest it and see if Moxfield's going to be friendly to me today. I think it will. Alright, we're going to go like this. It's probably mad at me because I changed the list of the deck. So we're going to draw for our turn. Look at that. We're going to drop this here, Forest. And I'm actually going to keep the Darksteel Relic in my hand. I'm not going to play any of these because I want to power out Toph. So on turn 2, I am going to play Explore, which lets me draw a card and play a Plains. Next turn, I'm going to play a Forest. I'm going to drop Toph. Alright? Cool. Honestly, every time I've played my paper version of this particular Toph, people dramatically underestimate it because it's not as powerful as some of the other ones, and a lot of times can get very clunky. Next turn, what I'm going to do now is silly things. I'm going to go like this, this, and this. I'm going to play Tireless Provisioner. I am then going to play a Mountain, and I am going to generate a treasure token. I am then going to play Darksteel Relic, which, landfall trigger, I am going to generate a treasure token. As you can see, things are silly. I am then going to go like this. I'm going to kill this treasure, tap that, tap that. I'm going to play Roiling Regrowth. I'm going to sacrifice this Mountain. And I am going to grab a Plains and a Mountain. Close and shuffle. And put them onto the battlefield tapped. Which will generate 2 treasures. We have so many treasures, friends. So many treasures. I am then going to... I'm going to pop 2 of my treasures. Play Sunbeam Spellbomb. And Lifespark Spellbomb. Which will get me 2 more treasures. And there we go. We have dumped our entire hand. And we have a removal spell in our hand. And we also have Metalcraft. Next turn, we're going to draw. We're going to... we're going to say we're going to Earthbend. Set counters to 3. We're going to Earthbend our Sunbeam Spellbomb. And... yeah, we're gonna play a Mountain. Generate a treasure. We're going to go ahead and sack our Sunbeam Spellbomb to draw a card. And we're going to play Mind Stone. Which is going to landfall trigger, generate a treasure. God, this is silly stuff here, friends. You know what? We're just going to keep this here. And then end of turn, we're going to Earthbend our Sunbeam Spellbomb again. And we're going to say that at the end of our opponent's turn, we're going to sacrifice it to draw a card. Next turn, we untap, we draw. We're going to play Burnished Heart. Landfall trigger. We get a treasure. Throne of Geth. We get a treasure. Fantastic here. So what we're going to do on this turn, though, is some silly things. So end of turn, I'm going to actually... oh, it's 2. I don't know why I thought it was Earthbending 3. I'm going to Earthbend 2, Burnished Heart. And so I am actually going to, on my opponent's turn, sacrifice this treasure, sacrifice the Burnished Heart, to search for 2 basic lands, which will grab a Plains and a Forest. We'll close and shuffle. These enter the battlefield tapped. Burnished Heart enters the battlefield tapped. And we get 3 landfall triggers. So 1. Sweet Jesus. 2. 3. Yeah, it's gonna be silly times. We do that. We have a million lands in our deck. We're going to actually probably... We haven't done anything to kill anyone, though. We're just dirtling. We're going to Earthbend 4 something. You know what? We're going to Earthbend 4 our Darksteel Relic. Set counters 4. Because it's indestructible, right? And we may as well... I'm just going to sacrifice a treasure token to proliferate, putting this to 5. And then we're going to bring in the beats with this. Pretty simple and straightforward. And end of turn, I may as well... I'm going to add 3 more to it. Oh, wait. So you see, now it's an 8-8. It's an 8-8 indestructible. And next turn we do this. And we have, you know, cracked earth. We can earthbend, then earthbend. And then just like do this. What we'd probably do is we'd earthbend this. We'd earthbend this. We've probably already earthbended something else. And then we just start bringing in artifacts that, so like we earthbend 3 this, right? And then this one's already earthbent 2. And then we earthbend 3 this. So we already have all that. We sack another token to proliferate, making this 9/4/4. We would probably sacrifice the Burnished Heart to put the tokens into play, or getting more treasure tokens there. And then we just start bringing in beats with our artifact creatures. If we look at what our draws are, we're getting a lot of lands, which is really interesting considering we're running 37, but honestly not the worst thing that could happen. But let me know what you think in the comments down below. As always, I'm Weston with the Hidden Gibbon, and I'll see you next week with another episode of Magic for the Working Class. Have a wonderful day.